You won't believe this one. Folks. Picture this, I'm up on a rickety 6-foot ladder in my backyard. Sweat dripping down my face under the blazing afternoon sun. Just trying to touch up the fence with some fresh paint. Suddenly. This entitled neighbor. Let's call her Susan, yeah. Susan, the self-proclaimed queen of the block, storms over like a hurricane. Grabs the ladder. And yanks it hard enough to make my heart skip a beat. And get this, after nearly sending me tumbling to the ground. She has the audacity to call the cops and accuse me of harassing her. What kind of twisted logic is that? I let out a deep sigh. Remembering the metallic tang of paint fumes mixing with the fresh-cut grass smell that day. It started innocently enough. Or so I thought. Our neighborhood's got this strict HOA, Homeowners Association. For those not in the know, and Susan's the unofficial enforcer. Always nitpicking everyone's yards like it's her full-time job. Your fence color's off by a shade, she'd bark at folks during her daily patrols. Me? I'm Alex. Just a regular guy in his mid-30s. Working from home as a graphic designer. Trying to keep my little slice of suburbia looking decent without stepping on toes. That Saturday morning. The birds were chirping cheerfully. The kind of sound that usually puts you in a good mood. I dragged out my old aluminum ladder, you know. The one that's seen better days but still holds up, and set it against the wooden fence separating my yard from Susan's. The paint can clanged softly as I popped it open. The creamy beige swirling like a promise of a fresh start. Why was I painting? Simple, a storm the week before had chipped away at the wood. And I didn't want termites or rot sneaking in. Plus, the HOA rules demanded uniform appearance, and I wasn't about to get fined over something petty. As I climbed up, brush in hand, the ladder creaked under my weight, creak. Creak. Like an old man's joints protesting. The sun beat down, warming my skin. And I could hear kids laughing a few houses over. Bikes whizzing by on the street. Peaceful. Right? Wrong. Out of nowhere. Susan's voice pierced the air like a siren. What the hell do you think you're doing? I glanced down. And there she was, mid-50s. Perm-curled hair frizzing in the humidity. Arms crossed over her floral blouse. Eyes narrowed like laser beams. Painting my fence? I called back. Trying to keep my tone light. But oh boy. That set her off. She marched closer. Her heels clicking angrily on the concrete path. That's not approved. The HOA specifies eggshell white. Not whatever slop you're slathering on. I paused mid-stroke. Paint dripping, plop. Plop, onto the grass below. Susan. This is beige. Same as everyone else's. I checked the guidelines. But she wasn't having it. Her face flushed red. Veins popping in her neck. Don't you dare talk back to me. You're always causing trouble. Alex. Last month. Your dog's barking kept me up, and now this eyesore. I felt my frustration bubbling up. A hot knot in my chest. How dare she? My dog. Buddy. Is the quietest pup around, he barely woofs at squirrels. But arguing from 6 feet up felt ridiculous. Look. Let's talk this out later. I'm almost done. That's when things escalated. Susan huffed. A dramatic exhale that carried the faint scent of her overpowering perfume, lavender mixed with entitlement. No. Stop right now. And before I could react, she lunged forward and grabbed the ladder's legs. The world tilted. The ladder wobbled violently, screech. Metal scraping against wood. My heart pounded like a drum in my ears. Adrenaline surging as I clutched the top rung for dear life. Susan. Stop. What are you doing? I yelled. My voice cracking with fear. Paint splattered everywhere, on her blouse. On the grass. On my shoes. She pulled harder. Grunting with effort. Get down. You're harassing me with this noise and mess. Harassing her? Me? The irony hit like a slap. I was the one teetering on the edge of a nasty fall. Visions of broken bones flashing through my mind. Thank God for neighbors. Tom, the retired vet next door, must have heard the commotion. His screen door slammed, bang. And he came jogging over. His gravelly voice booming, "Susan. Let go. You're gonna hurt him." He grabbed her arm gently but firmly, pulling her back. The ladder stabilized just in time. But my knees were shaking like jelly. I climbed down slowly. Each step a careful negotiation with gravity. The rough texture of the rungs biting into my palms. Once on solid ground, I faced her, breathing heavy. That was dangerous. You could have killed me. Susan straightened her blouse, wiping paint off with a sneer. Oh please. Drama queen. You are invading my space with that ladder leaning over. That's harassment. Invading her space. The fence is the boundary. But she was already dialing her phone, her fingers flying over the screen. I'm calling the police. You'll regret this. The wait for the cops was agonizing. I paced the yard, the grass crunching underfoot, while Susan stood smugly by her gate, arms folded. Tom stuck around, offering a supportive pat on the back. She's out of line. Alex. I've seen her pull this crap before. The air hung heavy with tension, the distant hum of traffic underscoring our standoff. What if they believed her? She's got that Karen vibe, you know. The one where they twist facts like pretzels. Officer Mike arrived in his cruiser. Lights flashing but no siren, a merciful quiet. He stepped out, notepad in hand, his boots thudding on the driveway. What's the issue here? Susan launched into her tirade first. Voice shrill, this man was harassing me. He set up his ladder right against my property, splashing paint everywhere. And when I asked him to stop, he yelled at me. I felt a twist in my gut, anger mixed with disbelief. Officer, that's not what happened. I was on my side, painting my fence. And she tried to pull the ladder out from under me. Mike raised an eyebrow, glancing between us. Anyone hurt? We both shook our heads. But I added, almost. If Tom hadn't intervened. That's when the twist hit, my security camera. I'd installed one of those ring cams a month back, after some package thefts in the area. It overlooked the backyard perfectly. Check the footage, I suggested, pulling up the app on my phone. The video played crystal clear, me calmly painting, Susan storming in. The yank. The wobble. Tom's save. Audio caught her accusations too, get down. You're harassing me. Susan's face drained of color as Mike watched. The phone's speaker crackling with our voices. Ma'am. This shows you initiating physical contact. That's assault. Not harassment. She stammered. But he was. No. That's edited. Edited? Please. Mike wasn't buying it. We'll need statements. Alex. You want to press charges? I hesitated, the weight of the moment sinking in. Part of me wanted to, the fear she'd instilled was real. A cold sweat still lingering on my skin. But here's where the real karma kicked in. As Mike questioned her further, neighbors started gathering, whispers rustling like leaves in the wind. Mrs. Patel from across the street chimed in, Susan's always causing drama. Last week, she reported my kid's lemonade stand. Old Mr. Jenkins nodded, she fined me for my bird feeder being unsightly. HOA doesn't even cover that. The crowd grew. Phones out. Recording the scene. Susan's empire of complaints was crumbling. Turns out, this wasn't her first rodeo. Mike radioed in. And dispatch confirmed multiple complaints against her, false reports. Harassment of her own. The HOA board had been investigating her unofficial enforcement too. By the end of the afternoon, Susan was cited for attempted assault and disorderly conduct. The metallic click of handcuffs? No. But the humiliation was palpable. She slunk back to her house. Head down. The crowd's murmurs following her like a shadow. I exhaled a long, relieved breath as Mike drove off. Tom clapped my shoulder, justice served. Buddy. The sun dipped lower, casting golden hues over the yard. The paint drying in uneven splotches, a messy reminder of the chaos. But damn. It felt good. That night. Over a cold beer on my porch. The crickets chirping a soothing symphony. I reflected. Why do people like Susan thrive on control? Is it insecurity? Or just plain meanness? The next twist came a week later. The HOA held an emergency meeting, air thick with coffee aroma and heated debates. Susan showed up. Defiant. But the evidence piled up, emails, videos, testimonies. They voted her off the informal watch committee she'd created. Even better. Fines she'd pushed through were reversed. Including one against me for non-compliant grass height. Karma. Folks, it's real. And it bites hard. But wait. It got even juicier. Susan's husband, quiet guy named Greg, finally spoke up. Turns out, he'd been enduring her tirades for years. I'm done, he announced in the meeting. Voice trembling but firm. The room fell silent. A pin drop moment. He filed for divorce that month, citing emotional abuse. Susan. She sold the house and moved, rumor has it, to a condo where HOAs are stricter. But she's the one getting cited now. Me? I finished that fence. The smooth strokes of paint a therapeutic rhythm. Buddy barked happily at my side. Tail thumping. Life's too short for petty battles. Right? This whole mess taught me to stand my ground. Document everything. And trust that good vibes come back around. In the end, the high point wasn't just Susan's downfall, it was the neighborhood bonding. We started a block party tradition. Laughter echoing under string lights. Grills sizzling with burgers. No more fear of the Karen patrol. The message? Speak up against bullies, justice prevails when we unite. If you've got a crazy neighbor story, drop it in the comments, let's commiserate. Until next time. Stay safe out there.